Time to get the in-floor heat running in the workshop. One thing I'm quite proud of about this workshop is that my family and I did a lot of work in here ourselves. And one of the toughest jobs that we tackled was a lot of the concrete work. Now, we didn't pour the concrete. No, that when we were just like, nope. That needs done by professional trades. What we ended up doing is we put the insulation down over the top of the sand, then did all the rebar work. And after we did all the rebar work, we painstakingly did all of the PEX layout for in-floor heat. Now, did we do it perfectly? No. We made a couple of mistakes along the way. Thankfully, not crippling mistakes, but mistakes nevertheless. Though we made mistakes, this is a pretty nifty place to work in the middle of winter, because this workshop is subdivided into 3 sections, each with their own zone that we can control independently. Now, yes, there's a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to move it, but zone 1, 2, and 3. And their respective pumps that keeps them running. Now, I meant to have this system up and running about a week ago, but I gave myself a concussion. Then the kid got sick. So I've been a little busy lately. But as they say, better late than never. Let's check over some stuff, see if we can get her all fired up and ready to go. So here we have one of the first mistakes we're going to talk about. We thought we had these things wired up pretty well, where they were sturdy for where the PEX was coming up out of the concrete. Like this side was okay, except for that one random one there. This and this got knocked over pretty bad. We could have done something better there. They make some manifold pieces. They're all one piece that we should have used. We thought this would work just fine, wiring up with everything. We thought it would work all right. We were wrong. So, mistakes. We're human. And the other mistake, which is just laughably glaring now that we're using this, we didn't put a drain in the floor for all the condensation from the boiler. Because I forgot my big tank to put under here, we're just going to use a mineral tub for now to take care of the drainage. I'll get the tank in here tomorrow. It'll be fine. So if you're looking for a good boiler for your in-floor heat system, I do not recommend Norris. When this thing showed up, it showed up with a lot of problems. And some of them were obvious, and some of them showed up after a little while of running the thing. Mice got in the wiring. Before we got it, we took it out of the box, and there was just mice stuff everywhere inside it. And then that piece there had a bunch of bad solders and leaked everywhere. And instead of just saying, whew, our bad, sorry about that, we'll send you just a new unit, send your old one back, because it's really complicated and tough to fix. They're like, no, we don't do that. We're just going to send you the replacement parts to fix it. Yeah. That's a nightmare to work on. Thankfully, we found a plumber who somewhat knows his way around these things and was willing to take on this horrible job. So, though it does work now, it looks like hell inside because, well, when you get a lot of water and coolant leaking all over the insides, tends to not look great later. But as we are right now, I think we look all right. Got pressure in the gauge. Once we fire this up and get it running, it should get up close to 20, which is where the operating range is for this. Already checked the vent, so we're good there. All right, we've got life. Control box is up. Thermostat's up. I just got to see if this will fire. There we are. We've got heat. Got heat in the supply pipe. All 3 pumps are running. So for those of you who'd like to know how an in-floor heat system works, because before we got started, I never knew how one of these things worked. It's kind of neat. So boiler heats up the water, supply comes to the pump, and the pump pushes it down into the floor. This is the hot line, red. So this is where the hot water gets pushed down through the floor, goes through the PEX runs, which are all one piece. You don't want any sort of splices in the concrete. That's just any sort of fail point, you don't want that. So then it comes back, once it's done running through the floor, through the return line. And then that return line comes back through here, comes up into the boiler, gets reheated, and then back through the floor it goes. No, I was wrong. That's supposed to be a 15 PSI, not 20. 20 is the upper limit. So now that the system's been running for a couple of minutes, just make sure we don't have any leaks. And so far, knock on wood, we're good. Well, I say that, but we got some seepage on this one. We might have to replace this piece. So as you can see, let this floor get way too cold. Don't let that happen. This is a big mistake on my part. It's going to cost us quite a bit more in propane just to keep this, or get this floor reheated than it would have just to try to maintain temp. So, but you have your lead wire here, goes down into this groove in the concrete. That gives us our floor temperature. Now we are nowhere near done with this workshop. We've got a lot of work that we're planning on doing in the future. It needs more insulation. The area where I work over here needs the actual cohesive work area, bench, something. So we've got a lot of work left to do here. This is not done yet, but we're gonna do this just a little at a time as the years go. And there's a little bit of condensation, so know that the drain's working properly. Just gotta get this buttoned up, and then we'll be done in here. Hope you found that kind of interesting. On a side note, if anybody wants to know about this solar system that we use to keep the shop up and running, because this is off-grid here, hit me up in the comments. We can talk about it. And as always, thanks for stopping by.